Vicki Hogarth, and welcome to Southwest Magazine. My guest today is Hillary Russell, who has turned a very personal and difficult experience into something inspiring. Earlier this year, her mom was diagnosed with breast cancer at just 50 years old. Hillary created a moving photo essay to document her mom's journey through treatment, and now she's bringing back a family tradition, the Rah Rah for the Ta Tas Run for the Cure team, this time running for her mom. Thank you, Hillary, so much for coming in today and for sharing your story with us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Let's take us back to last winter when your mom got the diagnosis. Mm-hmm. What was that like for you and your family?
It was difficult for sure. I was finishing up my last year of university in Fredericton, and my brother was playing hockey, and he actually was transferred 3 different times that year. At that time, at first he was in Nova Scotia, and he was transferred or traded to Edmundston. So they drove to Nova Scotia to tell him. But the most difficult part was that the treatment plan changed. And so they drove up to tell us each about the cancer diagnosis. And then my mom was kind of like, well, I'll just have a mastectomy, right? I'll just have a mastectomy and I'll be okay. And then 2 weeks later, she was like, it's actually changed, and the treatment will be a little bit more intense. And she then went through 6 rounds of chemo, only 3 weeks after coming to tell us the second time that the treatment plan had changed. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
You were in your last year of university and just trying to get through that whole experience too, but you were able to take what you were going through and have that inspire a photo essay project that you did.
Yeah.
I've shared the link on my personal Facebook page because it really is so beautiful, and I think everyone's life is touched by cancer.
Absolutely.
And to let people into that intimate side of your life with your mom and really share your journey with other people, especially in the early stages when it's so confusing. What inspired you to do that for a class project that you've kept going?
Yeah, I was in a class called Images and Insights, and we learned to take photos, and so we had to do a photo essay. Some people did it on tattoos, some people did it on like an animal shelter, and I had to go home the weekend before the essay was due. I didn't have to, but I wanted to go home. It was the last weekend that my mom had, that we knew that she was going to feel good for. And so I brought one of my best friends home, and I had my camera, and I was like, Mom, do you mind if I do my photo essay on this weekend? And so I had to use some academic sources. So in the essay, you'll see I talked about identity and, the sense of motherhood and how that impacts, or how, cancer patients that are also mothers navigate life and motherhood. And so I go into some academic sources a little bit, but the photos are just photos of shoes in the entryway and the fridge while people started to drop off soup already, and my mom and my best friend dancing in the kitchen at the end. And it obviously was a really sweet weekend. There's even photos of her with her friends. They got together to play some music, and it was kind of she just wanted to have fun the weekend before, and it's been a great milestone to look back on, and my prof was obviously pretty impressed. She was like, dang it, Hillary. But it was kind of just a coincidental project, but obviously it's really nice to have to look back at.
I wrote down one quote from it, which was that motherhood doesn't pause for illness. And that really is what you feel when you're looking at the whole album, is that here's this beautiful life, this life that's ongoing, that has different generations, different relationships attached to it that everyone's impacted by on so many different levels too. The photo that really sticks with me is the one of your mom in the mirror. She's looking at herself, imagining herself without hair. She has a cap over, and it's still an unknown. And when you're dealing with life and death, sickness and health, and things like that, sometimes you feel like, oh, that's another concern though, is tied to hair and identity. And what has it been like navigating all those issues as her daughter?
As her daughter, I have an immense sense of pride for my mom. Obviously she has been thrown so many curveballs, and yeah, her sense of identity has definitely shifted, where she was a teacher and a volunteer and a member of our community, and she obviously is more than that, but prides herself in those pieces of identity, I think. And for some of those things to be taken from her, and not permanently, but temporarily, it's hard for her. Like, her life can't revolve around everyone else anymore. And to watch her have to learn how to create boundaries and how to say no to things, and also how to let people help her and how to let people sympathize and empathize with her. I love watching that for her. And she obviously is still killing it as a mom. For me and Sawyer, we're both home this year, and she does everything that she can, but also is still teaching us in the process. And my younger brother, he's 19 and I'm 22, so we still need our mom. So she's still killing it in that department.
The beauty about a small community is that anyone who is in the orbit of Sherry Russell knows what an amazing person she is. I've been touched by her presence so many times, I can't count. And I'm excited to see her on this journey because I think she is bringing that character that we know and love to this hard journey that she's on. Tell us a little bit before we get into Sing for the Cure as well about the Rah Rah for the Ta Tas team that you have running for the Cure. How did it first start, though?
Absolutely. The Rah Rah for the Ta Tas first started in 2009. The team was put together by Emily Summers, one of my mom's best friends from high school, actually. And Emily lost her mom to breast cancer in 2007. And coincidentally, one of my mom and Emily's other best friends, Krista, also lost her mom to cancer just 3 weeks after, or before Emily did. So their girls group, their group of friends, joined the Run for the Cure in 2009. I was just young. I was 6 then. So I just remember they were fundraising. They would do bake sales and raffle baskets, and they even did Sing for the Cures. They sing together, my mom, Krista, and Emily, and lots of other friends who are also coincidentally teachers, as 29 and Holding. And so they would put together the Sing for the Cure, and we haven't done the run or much fundraising in the last, I'd say, 5 to 10 years, just because all of my mom's friends, kids, me, got older and busier, so it didn't happen as much. But this year I really wanted to do something. I needed somewhere to channel my energy and something to do, so I asked if we could bring it back as Rah Rah for the Ta Tas 2.0. Just as an ode to the women that we ran for in the past. I didn't want to change anything. I want to keep that, but I also want it now to include my mom. So now we run for all of those women before and also my mom.
So as you gear up for the big date, well, first of all, when is Run for the Cure? For people who want to see you on this run, where can they go? What date can they check it out?
So the Run for the Cure is on October 5th. We're running in Fredericton. And yeah, we're hosting a couple events beforehand, though, obviously.
Okay, and you'll be at the Charlotte County Fall Fair, but also Sing for the Cure, which is right here in St. Andrews at Drew Haven. Tell us a little bit about how you'll be fundraising and what this event entails.
Okay, so the Sing for the Cure is at Drew Haven. It will be an open mic style Sing for the Cure, and a silent auction will be downstairs. Sean at Drew Haven and Tina are graciously hosting, and there will be hors d'oeuvres and there will be a cash bar, but also there will be signature pink drinks. There'll be 3 of them. So all of the funds or the profits from the pink drinks will go towards our team, and the silent auction will go towards our team. Entry is just by donation, so you don't need tickets. And people that we have singing, my mom and her friends are going to sing 29 and Holding. My mom and I actually are also going to do a couple songs. And Kathy Hutch is performing. Coincidentally, my dad was working on her house, and so I was like, can you ask Kathy if she'll sing? Small town things. And then We have Sean is also going to sing, and Helga, she sings at Drew Haven often, so she's going to sing a couple songs, and Bob Poirier, who sings with my mom, is also going to sing. So lots of local names that people will recognize, and it should be lots of fun.
And for those who can't get out to a fundraising event beforehand, but there are ways to give online as well. Yep. Tell us a little bit about how you're raising money and where people from the rest of Canada can reach you if they would like to give to, especially for the team.
Absolutely. So we do have a Run for the Cure page. Our team name is obviously called Rah Rah for the Ta Tas 2.0. So if you just look up Run for the Cure, and then I think it's /Rah Rah, that will take you to our team page. And then I also have a personal page that goes into a little bit more about my personal story with my mom and breast cancer. But yeah, there is a way to donate directly to our team online as well. This little QR code also will link you to our team page where you can donate directly as well.
What does it mean to you to be doing this time around for your mom? Last time thinking about it, inspired by Emily's mother.
Yeah. Honestly, my mom and I were talking about it this morning, just inspired by your post actually about the photo essay. It feels surreal. It feels like it's not my mom for some reason. And for her, she was saying like, it doesn't feel like it's me. And it feels weird sometimes, I guess, to have to be the one that's sick, which I can empathize with. I feel for her. And she hates being like the sick person, obviously, which comes with the territory. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say it feels surreal, but also it feels pretty magical, as weird as it is to say. I feel incredibly grateful for the impact that my mom and my dad have had on people's lives. And I think trying to throw together these events, honestly, pretty last minute, and asking for people's support, whether it's monetary donations, their time, donations from their local businesses, or even just sharing, promoting us. It has been incredible, the amount of support that I have gotten, because one, cancer has touched everyone, but number two, my mom has either taught everyone or their kids, and she always went the extra mile. She took the time to connect with people. She made sure the kids were taken care of, and there are many people that have stories about ways that my mom went out of her way to care for them or care for their kids. And same with my dad. Like, my dad's built everyone's house here, it feels like, and he also, goes in after hours to make sure little details are done, keeps people on track, makes sure that you're going to get in your house on time, and he works really hard and does really good work. And so a lot of times people, when I introduce myself, are incredibly gracious, and I think that is just a great reflection of a good community. Like, I think that that's just such an essential part of community, giving and not necessarily needing to get it back, but, because I believe there's a quote that says, you're not giving if you expect something in return. And so not necessarily for that reason, but I just think it's obviously essential for a healthy community. And I am, benefiting from years of hard work from both of my parents, probably before I was even born. So that piece alone has been pretty magical.
Well, I can say that, the first time I met you, you had organized a march in St. Stephen. You were just in high school. I think I knew your mom before that just because, like you say, her presence is very magical. I had heard her singing with 29 and Holding.
Yeah.
And you had organized a march for Black Lives Matter around the time of George Floyd, and I think you were maybe 16 years old at the time. So I've seen what you do when you put your head towards something, and I know what she's capable of too. And in so many ways, by sharing your story, by doing these fundraisers, you are helping. It's more than just your own family. You're shining a light on people going through similar things. Your mom also has a role in this year's run that is inspiring. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, so last week, the CIBC Run for the Cure gave her a call, and she was like, why are they calling me? And she was asked to lead the first lap for the Participants of Hope, which are the participants that have or have had breast cancer. So she's pretty excited about that. And actually, right after this interview, we're heading to Fredericton to go to a comedy night for breast cancer people that are doing the Run for the Cure in Fredericton, and it's just the Participants of Hope, and I'm her +1, so I get to go too, but it is for the Participants of Hope, so she gets to be involved in that community that way. But I mean, the support networks among women that have or have had breast cancer is incredible. The amount of people that have reached out to her that don't know her or have barely known her, either with the same kind of cancer or with similar stories. It's been incredible. So,
what's been really the most surprising part of the journey? Maybe something you wish you knew more of beforehand, or something that's just really struck a chord with you as you stand by your mom through all of this?
Honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is how expensive it is. And I hate to say that first, but it's true. Even, I mean, we all know how expensive healthy food is. Driving back and forth to St. John, we're so lucky to have lots of resources available at the Charlotte County Hospital, and obviously the staff there are great to her, but her appointments are still in St. John, and she drives back and forth. Food, medication is very expensive, and yeah, I mean, we're thankful that she is in, as a teacher, has leaves available, but I just couldn't imagine. I think about it all the time. I could not imagine if we were in any different situation how we would get by. And so I think it makes it even more important that we are raising money, because it's expensive. It's expensive to be sick, and it's shocking how expensive it is. So yeah, I love to do what I can to support other women who are going through the similar thing.
And how is your mom doing emotionally through this journey? I know in your photo essay you even shared about cold capping, which is fairly new in treatment, where they can freeze your scalp so that you don't lose as much hair. I have a friend who's done it. It isn't always perfect, but it is one new advancement that people are able to access now, though not necessarily easily. I know in some provinces it's not as available. But how's your mom been dealing with this, but also being so open about it at the same time?
In terms of the cold capping, she did have access to that at the Charlotte County Hospital, which was great. She has they said that she had a 50% chance of keeping 50% of her hair. So she has lots of little bald spots that are just growing in right now. They're pretty cute, honestly. We were just like looking at the little spots coming in. But she had thick curly red hair before, so she could kind of hide them well, just scrunch up her curls. But she's been okay in that department with that like sense of identity in hair because of having access to cold capping. Don't get me wrong, it's incredibly difficult and uncomfortable and I think painful at times, but she did it and she's happy to have some hair. In terms of emotionally, I think that the thing about cancer is it's unpredictable. And that is incredibly difficult for me also, right? Like I would love to just have an answer that it will be this step, then this step, and then this step, and then we're done. But that's just not how it is. And we learned that from the beginning when she drove to Fredericton and said, it's just a mastectomy. And then 2 weeks later, she said, actually, it's not. And since then, she did 6 rounds of chemo from February until like July, had a mastectomy in July. And then she found out she has to do some more chemo treatments. So now she does 14 more rounds of chemo. And that, she just had her first round last week, and she actually has her second round tomorrow. So it's not as harsh, but it still makes her sick. Mm-hmm. And I think that is probably emotionally the hardest part of the treatment, is not knowing what the next step is. And we just, we say it's just one step at a time. But yeah, you really can't plan for anything. And you just have to be prepared for the unexpected, absolutely. But she'll be excited to get back in a classroom and to be feeling better. She looks forward to that light at the end of the tunnel, absolutely.
How have you maintained hope throughout all this? Or have there been times that you did have a little bit of hopelessness?
Honestly, I think that my mom is just such a powerhouse that there is no option but to have hope. She every single chemo treatment, she wore a shirt that said, "I've got this." Black and white. It was just a black shirt with white text, "I've got this." And she had made sure it was washed before every treatment. And my parents have been incredible to each other. My dad has really stepped up and, takes mom to everything. And so I think like our family dynamics, and with my brother and I being home, that gives me a lot of hope. But I don't think that there's ever hopelessness. I think that there is always hope. And I think that it's hard, but it's not impossible.
Was sharing your story helpful? Did people reach out? Was putting that out into the universe something that played a role in finding hope or finding community around something so hard?
So actually, it's an interesting question, because at first we actually didn't tell anyone that my mom was sick. So while I was in university, finishing up, graduating, I graduated university post before I ever shared anything online about my mom being sick. And as someone that is pretty transparent and loves my Instagram post, obviously, it was hard to kind of hide that area of my life. It felt weird. But obviously, my mom wasn't ready to share it yet, so there was no question that I was not sharing it, obviously. But yeah, she didn't post, she didn't share it online at all until she finished chemo. So people in our life directly knew. But I think that is a little hard sometimes, because there were people who are our friends, or friends of friends that maybe would have reached out sooner had they known. Not that, and there's no blame on anyone or of us, like that. It happened as it happened, and that was great. And every step as my mom was comfortable. But yeah, we didn't share for the first 6 months that she was going through treatment. Yeah. Not until she finished. When she rang the bell, her friends showed up and surprised her, and there was a video of it, and that she posted, and she shared her story, and people reached out. And it's been incredible for me to be able to talk about it. And yeah, to be able to share how much of a journey it is, and to be able to connect with other people that have gone through similar journeys, even just daughters. There's a lot of daughters that have reached out to me and said, "My mom was sick. If you ever need to talk, please reach out," whether it's breast cancer or anything else. But, being an oldest daughter is also something when your mom is sick. So, yeah, it has been incredible to be able to open up more online after, and I guess more with community after her chemo was over. But I think, and now she's ready to answer questions, and she said she almost feels like she should post, "This is the kind of cancer I had, this is what I did," and it is great because people ask. People do ask. And they'll say, "How did you feel about this treatment? I heard you had this kind. What should I expect? And what should I buy?" And in terms of support groups, it's been incredible to watch her open up and then to share with other people what she went through. So.
Well, and I'm so happy you both are, because I think you both have this gift of connecting with others. So to share both your perspectives on this journey can be a lifeline for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Anyone who is watching at home today who might be going through it themselves, might be the daughter or family member of someone going through the same type of thing, what message do you hope they take away from this? Or is there something you'd like to drive home to them?
I guess the thing that I would love to drive home to people is that everyone has stuff behind the scenes. And I went, 6 months without really telling people what was going on. And all the time I was like, am I being irritable? Am I being quiet? And, there's just this face that I have to put on, but there's so much more at home. And I think for those of you at home who are going through a similar thing, my heart is with you. Number one, it's incredibly difficult. And for those who are interacting around people who might be going through a similar thing, give each other grace, because you never know. You know, this is a universal lesson, right? But you never know what other people are going through. And yeah, I think it's just so important to give each other grace, because I was given grace as I was first navigating. I was given a lot of grace, and it's just incredibly important, whether you know or not what people are going through. Help each other and do what you can to support people, but be patient with yourself and know that you're not alone.
Well, I cannot wait to root for Rah Rah for the Ta Tas and Run for the Cure October 5th. I can't wait to join you September 29th,
Thank you.
6 p.m. to 9 p.m. At Drew Haven as well for some incredible music for a good cause. You are always incredible, Hillary. Thank you so much for taking the time to come in today, for sharing your story, your mom's journey with us. And please come back anytime. I'm sure that this is enlightening to so many people. So really, if there are any points in time you want to come in and talk again, please do.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And thanks for making the space for us to have conversations like this. I think it's so important.
My guest today has been Hillary Russell, who will be running for the cure on October 5th in Fredericton. I'm Vicki Hogarth. Thank you for watching Southwest Magazine.
Southwest Magazine is a news and public affairs production of CHCO Television.